Welcome back. In today's video, I still have my wife here, Megan, with me, and we are going to discuss some of the benefits and conflicts that arise when you work in the trades, and not just about like on the job site, but also we're going to talk about your personal life. So, Megan, what are some of the benefits of having a carpenter husband?
We have someone in here 24/7 that can fix anything that we might need to have fixed. We have our house painted. We got hardwood floors. We have new sink fixtures. Pretty much anything the moment the door hinges start making weird sounds. You can fix that so I don't have to listen to that. Pros also would be that you make good money. So we can actually go and do things and vacation yearly. And that is a huge stress relief, to not be always so conscious of what money is coming in. I think too, having this type of job that you have makes it to where you're able to live in, an area that's close to the city, because that's obviously where a lot of the jobs are, but still live in the suburbs. And that's a lot.
Yeah, so one thing she's talking about, having the ability to, fix the house up, that's really nice. As you go through your apprenticeship, you're going to amass more tools, and you're going to amass more skills, so you can then translate that into home improvement jobs. When it came to doing the hardwood floors, a contractor tried to charge us $10,000, and I was able to do it for just parts, and hired one of my fellow carpenters, and we did it together by ourselves pretty much. And so you can do that, and also you have the skill set and being able to watch a YouTube video on something and understand what they're talking about, opposed to being a DIYer and trying to figure it out, but you don't really have the full grasp of all the tools and how to fix them. If you were to buy a skill saw, do you know how to change the blades? Do you know when to have enough battery set up, to have that preparation so you're not stopping because the battery's ran out and you have to stop the whole process? Having the full preparation from going from your job site, knowing how things are supposed to be ran on your home, it makes it a lot easier. So that's one of the main benefits. You're able to translate some of those skills to your actual personal life, and because you've amassed so many tools, you have everything you pretty much need. And so I found that benefit. And also, like she said, being able to live in the suburbs, not worrying about the kids going to terrible schools because we can't afford anything else, being able to pay for tutoring if needed. I think that's a huge benefit. Just being able to make sure that we're not living hand to mouth, I think it's a huge stress reliever. I remember growing up kind of poor as a kid, and as time has gone on, we became a little bit more affluent, living in the suburbs, but we never were fully middle class. And so I think being able to work in the trades definitely provided the kids a lifestyle that I never had, and my wife never had growing up. So I think that's also a huge benefit. Now let's go into some of the conflicts. What are some of the conflicts that you think arise when we're talking about me being a carpenter?
Well, something that might seem small to some people has been a bigger issue for me. I am very much a clean freak. I like things to be extremely organized. If I had it my way, I wouldn't have a junk drawer in my house. This field of work completely clashes with that. He comes home filthy, walking through the house in his boots. There's, dirt everywhere, tools everywhere, dust everywhere. It has been a where I've had to let a lot of stuff go as far as keeping things a certain way, because it comes with the nature of the job. You're not going to, get over that or change that. So I think that's a huge con for me. Just his truck alone would drive me nuts if I let my car get that dirty. And we'll clean it, and then 7 days later, it'll just be a hot mess again.
I think one of the difficulties of especially having a work truck is sometimes you're eating in there, and sometimes you're commuting, so you're trying to make sure that you had enough food when you're driving home, so that you're not constantly going to fast food restaurants. So when your truck is your workshop / cafeteria / your commuter vehicle, it's a lot more difficult to keep things clean. It's not an Uber vehicle where you're cleaning every single day after every time you drive it around. So just having things falling off off you like concrete, just like dust, sawdust. We're not blowing ourselves down every single job site when we leave. So it does get filthy. And then like, as time goes on, even if you have like the nicest vehicle, it becomes like your vehicle. And so like you don't have the same like reverence for it. So you kind of think, it's my truck. I kind of have to do what I have to do with it. So like, yeah, it is something that happens a lot when it comes to working in the trades is you do get filthy. It is a dirty job, but again, it is worth it. But it's also like, I'm not the one that's cleaning up constantly because like, when I'm coming home, I'm filthy. I'm walking through, the house to like, get some water. And then like, I'm going to go run upstairs and take a shower. So I'm not spreading it to the couch or anything else. Yeah. And then my wife is constantly coming behind me and trying to sweep up real quick. So like everything is not getting like the dirt's not spreading. So that's something that she's dealing with more than me. But at the same time, I am cognizant of that because there are some days she's not there and you can definitely see what it looks like if she didn't clean those things up.
Yeah. And I think too, just like an ongoing thing that I've really, really learned is just giving your significant other, your spouse, whatever that is, like grace, because the fact that these, individuals are working in extreme weather conditions, whether that's, pouring down rain all day outside, or it's snowing outside, or it's 98 degrees outside. And working in those types of conditions for, 8, 9, 10 hours, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, that's another level that most people will never be able to understand what that does to someone. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but it is your body, right? So making sure that you are taking care of it. So if he's, going to work and then he's going to the gym, you might think, well, we need you to help with this and that. But if he doesn't take care of his body and he ends up getting injured or he doesn't get enough rest and then he makes a mistake that causes an injury at work, well, what's that going to look like?
Exactly, yeah. So
really showing that person grace, it's really can't even be looked at like a job because it is so much more than a job. It's not like you're just clocking in for an 8 to 5 and moving it along. There's so much more that goes into it than maybe most of us will ever experience. And I think that I definitely have taken longer probably than I should have to really have that click and realize, okay, like this is not your typical situation and you can't expect someone, to do 9,000 things when they've been working, in the rain, like, yeah. So, and just the exhaustion that comes from that when you're doing a manual labor job.
And I also think that comes down to really just communicating what you need, like instead of like harboring resentment towards your partner because they don't really understand what's going on. Like they're not there. They're not there on the job site. They don't see how hard it is. They don't know how your superintendent was talking to you or your foreman. Mm-hmm. They don't know what kind of pressure's on you. They don't know. And so what they don't know, they're not going to accommodate for. So that's why it's incumbent on you as an individual to say, listen, I had a tough day today. I need some space. Can you give me some grace today? Like I only have 40% today. Can you be the other 60% to make sure this thing works? And I think that's important. And sometimes you're going to be fine. Some days you're going to have, an easy money day, you're going to work and then get your job done and you're fine. But some days it's incumbent on you that you make sure that you tell them, listen, I'm having a tough time right now. Can you be that rock that I need? And that's going to be vice versa. Like sometimes she's going to have a tough day. Mm-hmm. She's mentally exhausted. She may have dealt with a lot of, crazy patients, or she may have dealt with crazy coworkers, and so like she's mentally drained and like she needs me to be that rock today. So you kind of have that give and take, and making sure you're doing that together, it makes things a lot easier so that you don't feel like you're doing it alone. But again, that comes with communication, and people are not mind readers, and I think that's the biggest thing that I always advocate for is do not assume your partner knows what you're going through or what you need. Just say it, because I mean, what's the worst that can happen? They can just say, oh, well, I didn't realize. Instead of having, this anger because they didn't know what you didn't tell them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter how long you've been together. We've been together for 8 years and some change. She's not going to know everything that I need the moment I need it, and vice versa. So making sure you're having that communication, having that open pathway to talk and say, what you need or what's angering you. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's definitely going to help. So again, like I said before in my last video, a lot of guys in the trades, or a lot of people who are, more tactile oriented, like people who are more like manual labor, we're not great at communicating sometimes. And so I think if we work on those skills, I think we definitely can improve them. So I think that's very, very important. These are just a couple little pros and cons. I kind of wanted to just make this little separate video so you can kind of get a little bite-sized idea of these things. So hope you guys enjoyed. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.